Anticipating the release of Assassin's Creed Mirage, it's an ideal moment to reflect on the evolution of the Assassin's Creed franchise from its inception to the present day. The enduring appeal of these games lies in their meticulous craftsmanship when it comes to historical world building. The Assassin's Creed series has consistently elicited strong reactions, sparking passionate fans and vocal critics alike. Over the years, it has undergone substantial changes, some viewed as improvements and others as departures from its roots. Nevertheless, it maintains a dedicated following despite its share of criticisms. Today, let's revisit pivotal moments in its journey and engage in a retrospective examination of how it has evolved into its present form. In the early 2000s, Ubisoft was already renowned for its Prince of Persia series, a franchise that blended fluid parkour-style movement, acrobatics, and intricate combat. Patrice Désilets, a key figure in the development of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, was part of the Ubisoft team responsible for crafting this successful series. It was in this context that the seeds of the Assassin's Creed franchise were sown. Drawing inspiration from the Prince of Persia games, especially The Sands of Time, Désilets and his team began envisioning a new kind of historical action-adventure game. The influence of Prince of Persia was evident in several aspects. First and foremost was the fluidity of movement. Prince of Persia had set a high standard for parkour-style traversal and acrobatics, which became a cornerstone of what would later be seen in Assassin's Creed. Then there was combat. While Assassin's Creed would eventually feature a more realistic and complex combat system, it still borrowed elements from Prince of Persia, such as agile swordplay and a graceful, acrobatic approach to combat encounters. Storytelling was another area of influence. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time had earned acclaim for its narrative-driven approach, and this emphasis on storytelling left its mark on Assassin's Creed as well. The latter would seamlessly blend historical storytelling with a compelling sci-fi narrative involving the Animus and genetic memory. While Assassin's Creed clearly drew inspiration from Prince of Persia, it developed into its own distinct entity, introducing unique elements such as stealthy assassinations and a focus on historical settings that became central to the franchise's identity. This blend of historical accuracy, parkour movement, and stealth gameplay defined the successful and iconic Assassin's Creed franchise. However, no game is without its weaknesses, and Assassin's Creed had a notable one: repetitiveness. The core mission structure often followed a similar pattern: gathering information about a target, performing reconnaissance, and then carrying out the assassination. While the open-world setting encouraged creativity, the missions lacked variety, leaving some players feeling that they were repeating similar tasks. These issues, while present, did not diminish the game's overall impact on the industry and its innovative contributions. The Ezio trilogy within the Assassin's Creed franchise marked a substantial evolution from its predecessor, the original Assassin's Creed game. In the first Assassin's Creed, players assumed the role of Altair ibn Lahad, a skilled assassin but a character with relatively limited depth. However, with the introduction of Ezio Auditore in Assassin's Creed 2, the franchise took a leap forward. Ezio's character was meticulously crafted, evolving from a vengeful young man into a wise and seasoned assassin. Players became emotionally attached to Ezio's journey, something the original game had struggled to achieve. The original Assassin's Creed introduced the concept of parkour and stealthy assassinations, but it was Assassin's Creed 2 that truly expanded and refined these mechanics. New weapons, gadgets, and assassination techniques made gameplay more dynamic and engaging. Brotherhood further enriched the experience with the ability to recruit and train fellow assassins, providing a sense of leadership and community. Revelations introduced innovations like the hook blade and bomb crafting, adding depth and variety to gameplay. The Ezio trilogy maintained the franchise's commitment to historical accuracy but took it to new heights. Each game transported players to meticulously recreated historical settings: Renaissance Italy, Rome, and Istanbul, that teemed with life and authenticity. These cities felt vibrant and historically immersive, a significant improvement over the somewhat sparse landscapes of the first game. The trilogy deepened the narrative complexity of the Assassin's Creed universe. It artfully blended historical events with the ongoing conflict between the Assassins and Templars, offering insights into the nature of the Pieces of Eden and the enigmatic First Civilization. The narrative sophistication of Ezio's story and its connections to the broader lore elevated the series into a more profound and thought-provoking experience. One of the most profound evolutions was the emotional resonance achieved in the Ezio trilogy. Ezio's personal journey, including his struggles, losses, and growth, struck a chord with players. This emotional connection made the overarching Assassin's Creed narrative more impactful and relatable, transcending mere historical fiction. It solidified Assassin's Creed as a major franchise and laid the foundation for its continued success and growth. American Revolution setting, 1754 to 1783. Assassin's Creed III transported players to the American colonies during a tumultuous period marked by the American Revolution. This departure from the Italian Renaissance of the earlier Ezio trilogy brought a fresh historical context to the series. Players witnessed key events, from the French and Indian War to the signing of the Treaty of Paris, adding historical depth to the game's narrative and gameplay. The game featured meticulously recreated colonial cities, including Boston and New York, which played pivotal roles in the American Revolution. The cities were teeming with life and historical details, showcasing the architectural and cultural diversity of the period. Additionally, Assassin's Creed III introduced a vast wilderness environment, featuring the American frontier. Players could explore dense forests, hunt wildlife, and engage in dynamic encounters with both nature and hostile forces. This added an immersive dimension to the historical setting. The gameplay in Assassin's Creed III underwent notable changes. Combat evolved with the introduction of a dual-wielding system, allowing Connor to wield two weapons simultaneously, which added complexity to combat encounters. Firearms and a new tree-running mechanic were also introduced, further diversifying gameplay. Moreover, the game introduced naval combat sequences, allowing players to engage in ship-to-ship battles and exploration on the high seas, adding a new layer of gameplay depth. The historical setting and these gameplay innovations were intricately intertwined, as players navigated both colonial cities and the wilderness while participating in key moments of the American Revolution. Connor Kenway, the main character in Assassin's Creed III, received mixed reviews from fans. Some found him boring and less charismatic compared to previous protagonists like Ezio Auditore. Connor's Native American background and the game's complex narrative may have contributed to this perception. However, others appreciated his sense of justice and personal growth throughout the American Revolution storyline, making opinions about him divisive among fans. In 2013, Assassin's Creed IV Black Flag transported players to the early 18th century, a time known as the Golden Age of piracy. Here, amidst the azure waters of the Caribbean, players stepped into the boots of Edward Kenway, a pirate who finds himself entangled in the secretive world of assassins. The stage was set against a backdrop of historical richness, teeming with notorious pirates like Blackbeard and the grand stage of the War of Spanish Succession. This setting allowed players to explore themes of freedom, greed, and the intense struggle between pirates and the colonial empires, primarily the British and Spanish. The gameplay in Assassin's Creed IV Black Flag marked a significant departure from its predecessor. The most remarkable innovation was the introduction of naval exploration and combat. Players became captains of their own ship, the Jackdaw, engaging in exhilarating sea battles, harpooning whales, and discovering hidden treasures on numerous islands. What set this game apart was the seamless transition between land and sea gameplay, offering a depth and variety previously unseen in the series. In the subsequent year, 2014, Assassin's Creed Rogue introduced a unique perspective. Players took on the role of Shay Patrick Cormac, a former assassin turned Templar, navigating the mid-18th century during the 7 Years' War. This installment unfolded mainly in North America, with locations like New York and the perilous icy waters of the North Atlantic as its backdrop. The game delved into the moral ambiguity of the Assassin-Templar conflict, prompting players to question the actions of both sides. Assassin's Creed Rogue continued to build on the naval mechanics introduced in Black Flag, while refining the land-based gameplay. Patrick Cormack brought his unique abilities and equipment, emphasizing a more aggressive playstyle compared to previous protagonists. The frigid waters of the North Atlantic introduced environmental hazards like icebergs, adding fresh challenges to naval exploration. While naval combat and exploration were the focal points, the game also retained traditional Assassin's Creed elements such as stealth, parkour, and combat. The open-world nature provided players with a vast, immersive playground filled with side activities and collectibles. The impact of these games on players was profound. The naval combat and exploration aspects of both titles, combined with the sheer size of the game worlds, contributed to exceptional replayability. Players spent countless hours customizing and upgrading their ships, hunting legendary sea creatures, and uncovering hidden secrets. This ensured that the games remained engaging long after the main story had concluded. The distinctive atmosphere of the golden age of piracy and the icy North Atlantic waters immersed players in the historical settings, with meticulous attention to detail in ship design and city architecture. It set a precedent for future titles, encouraging Ubisoft to explore new historical settings and gameplay mechanics. Assassin's Creed Unity and Assassin's Creed Syndicate are two entries in the series that are often considered outliers, each facing its unique set of challenges and criticisms that set them apart from the rest of the franchise. Assassin's Creed Unity is particularly noteworthy for the technical issues it encountered upon its initial release. When the game came out in 2014, both players and critics quickly noticed a plethora of problems, including game-breaking bugs, graphical glitches, and an overall lack of polish. The issues were so severe that Ubisoft's CEO, Yves Guillemot, publicly apologized for the state of the game. In an attempt to make amends, Ubisoft offered a free game or downloadable content to those who had purchased Unity's Season Pass. These technical problems overshadowed what was otherwise a visually stunning and historically rich portrayal of 18th century Paris during the French Revolution. Assassin's Creed Syndicate faced a different set of challenges. While it didn't suffer from the same level of technical issues as Unity, it received criticism for not bringing significant innovation to the series. Some players found Syndicate's gameplay formula to be repetitive, with elements that felt too familiar from previous titles. Additionally, the game's dual protagonist system, featuring Jacob and Evie Fry, didn't resonate with all players, as it didn't offer the depth of character development some had hoped for. Despite its interesting setting in Victorian-era London, Syndicate failed to make as significant an impact as some other entries in the series. Both Unity and Syndicate, while having their unique qualities in historical settings, faced challenges that impacted their reception within the Assassin's Creed franchise. These issues, whether technical or related to gameplay innovation, served as learning experiences for Ubisoft as they continued to develop subsequent titles in the series, striving to recapture the franchise's former glory. In the context of the series' evolution, Assassin's Creed Origins, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla represent a significant evolution in the Assassin's Creed franchise, marked by a break from the yearly release cycle and a shift toward a more polished and RPG-focused approach. The decision by Ubisoft to break from the yearly release cycle of Assassin's Creed games came after the release of Assassin's Creed Syndicate in 2015. This break allowed the development teams more time to polish their games and explore new directions for the series. The break, which lasted approximately 2 years, gave Ubisoft an opportunity to re-evaluate the Assassin's Creed formula and incorporate player feedback. Released in 2017, Origins took players to ancient Egypt during the Ptolemaic period. The game's sprawling open world featured iconic locations like the pyramids and the city of Alexandria. Players stepped into the sandals of Bayek of Siwa, a Medjay and one of the earliest assassins, on a quest for vengeance. His journey eventually became intertwined with the larger conflict between the assassins and the Templars. Fans of Assassin's Creed Origins were also drawn to its historical setting in ancient Egypt, the compelling protagonist, and the depth of the narrative exploring the origins of the Assassin Brotherhood. The game's meticulous attention to historical accuracy and stunning graphics also resonated with players, and it marked a successful return to form for the franchise. Origins marked a departure from previous entries by introducing a more robust RPG element, featuring a skill tree, leveling system, and gear customization. It also revamped the combat system, focusing on weapon variety and tactics. It achieved an overwhelming success and is widely considered one of the top 3 games in the Assassin's Creed series by many fans. This acclaim highlighted the positive response to the game's RPG-focused approach, showcasing how Ubisoft's willingness to innovate and evolve the franchise had paid off with an installment that left a lasting impact on both fans and the gaming industry. Released in 2018, Odyssey transported players to ancient Greece during the Peloponnesian War. The game showcased a vast and beautifully detailed world, with famous locations like Athens and Sparta. Players had the choice between 2 protagonists, Alexios or Cassandra, as they embarked on a quest to uncover their family's secrets. The narrative introduced branching choices, significantly impacting the story. Odyssey expanded on Origin's RPG elements, offering even more customization options, including dialogue choices that influenced the storyline. Naval combat also played a significant role, with players commanding their own ship. While Odyssey showcased Ubisoft's commitment to a more polished and RPG-focused direction for the series, it faced a particular challenge, as it marked a significant departure from the traditional Assassin's Creed formula, embracing RPG elements to an even greater extent. While praised for its vast open world, intricate storytelling, and immersive ancient Greek setting, Odyssey led to a perception among some fans that the game had lost its identity as an Assassin's Creed title. Concerns included the divergence from the core lore of the series, the absence of the iconic Hidden Blade, and the heavy focus on RPG elements that veered away from the series' traditional emphasis on stealth and historical storytelling. Lastly, Valhalla, released on 2020, transported players to the Viking Age in England. The game featured a stunning recreation of medieval England, including towns, forests, and fortresses. Players assumed the role of Ivar, a Viking warrior who led a clan of Norse settlers in England. Ivar's journey involved forging alliances, raiding, and navigating the complex relationships of the time. Valhalla represented a response to these sentiments. It aimed to bridge the gap between the franchise's traditional elements and the new RPG direction introduced in Origins and Odyssey. The reintroduction of the Hidden Blade, a renewed emphasis on stealth, and one-hit assassinations were deliberate attempts to reconnect with the series' core lore and gameplay. It also continued to build on the RPG elements introduced in Origins and Odyssey. It offered a vast open world with activities and side quests, emphasizing player choice and consequences. Combat also evolved, featuring dual-wielding weapons and visceral battles. These changes in Valhalla aimed to appease fans who had missed the classic Assassin's Creed experience, while also accommodating those who had embraced the RPG elements introduced in the previous titles. However, while the return of these elements was appreciated by some, they were not seen as revolutionary changes, but rather a return to familiar territory. In essence, while these games received acclaim for their ambitious approach to world-building and character-driven storytelling, they also faced criticism from fans who felt that they had moved too far away from the series' roots. These divergences in gameplay and narrative direction left some players conflicted about whether these titles could still be considered true entries in the Assassin's Creed franchise, ultimately highlighting the challenges that can arise when a long-running series undergoes significant transformations. With the imminent release of Assassin's Mirage this year, it appears to be returning to its core elements, emphasizing parkour and stealth assassinations. Can this game rekindle what truly made the series great? There's still much to be revealed. Thank you for tuning in to this video. If you enjoyed the content, please remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. Your support goes a long way in helping my channel grow. If you have any other content you'd like to see, feel free to share your suggestions in the comments below.